All right. A journey to discover the origin of loneliness. You can repeat the meditation, but you don't need to. It has been healed. A fundamental choice that was made lifetimes ago or before a lifetime, this one in particular. As you allow it to be more real, that loneliness had a function, but it's not needed anymore. You have rounded the bend. You are returning to commune with God and Goddess. Not to dissolve into oneness, but to bring your consciousness, bring your awareness. So beautiful and such an adventure that you are on. We have time for some questions. John, who begins?
Helen.
And can you allow them to unmute?
Yes, that's good.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one, where do we begin?
Um, Gosh, so much is happening, and I'm I've been I've talked to you about this a bit before. I've been sort of noodling over this book that the synagogue is having the synagogue book club, and it's been an interesting experience because I guess it's challenging me on where am I not following my own faith and values, and how I'm trying to, like, where do I commit acts of verbal violence and or verbal domination. And I realize, with Harry and Scott, I really tried to get them after October 7th happened, I really tried to get them to see like, force them into my own point of view with using words like genocide and apartheid, even though I believe like what the Israelis are doing is genocide, but I use those words to try and shock Harry and Scott into my belief system. And
And
it
what
took me
is your
quite a
belief system?
um that there's too much violence and the Israelis need to stop killing so many Palestinians and they need to stop it now.
All right. So
And
so let's just clarify. That's the how you're going to get where you want to be. So
uh-huh.
what is the belief system that you are in that is your container, that is your how you know you have it. So just as soon as you dream something, it is possible to experience it. And so when you say, I want to get them to see my point of view, so to see the pain is a point of view.
And again, I'm in pain and I feel powerless and I feel unseen and unworthy.
Yes, and so
And
even as you say those words, you understand which identity is running the show.
yeah, that's interesting because I've actually been really struggling with it in the last week.
Yeah, so
I was
as
work
you allow those words that you just spoke, unseen, not heard, that's really the lesser self, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the child, that's the adolescent who have a need that can be addressed, that you have addressed, and you are continuing to address ongoingly. But as far as the spiritual adult goes, just knowing that you can communicate about all these things tells you already that that is not who you are anymore, that you are seen, you are heard. And then it becomes a question of, well, if I'm being seen and I'm being heard, so now for what purpose is the communication? As you say, you're noticing, well, I use certain words to grab their attention, much like the media. If I sensationalize, well, it's not sensationalizing it, but however, as you understand, telling them what to do is not the same as telling yourself what to do. So as you reach back into yourself and say, okay, my lesser self thinks if I can get them to see my point of view, then that'll fix it, or it'll avoid the domination of it. But it's not true, is it? Because you see what your attention is on and what's the intention. Okay, so my attention is on pain and sorrow.
Mhm.
What's my intention there? Well, it's because that's what I feel. Okay, so is there a more productive way to give myself the space when I encounter that information in my illusion to feel the feelings and then to choose, what do I want instead? What do I want to put my attention on? What story do I want to write? Now, does that make it so right away? No, not necessarily. You have to build the bridge of belief. It may take effort. It may take building resonance, building belief. It may be having to let go of some beliefs. And this is the tricky part. Well, I just don't see a way that it's going to be any different yet. That's just the lesser self. You, the more, has lots of ideas of how it could be different and what would be wonderful to create instead. And so when you're writing your movie script, you're in that realm, aren't you?
Yes.
You're filling yourself up with the light of what's possible. And that creates hope, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
as you generate that energy with intention, yeah, this is how I want my reality to be. Yeah, I'm creating a work, I'm creating a movie script, but I actually intend for this to be a reality that I get to live. Not the necessarily the how they get there, but the outcome. So
Right.
as you dream the outcome, then that completes your script also, doesn't it? And so if you find, well, I don't know how this is going to end, or how do we get there? A lot of it doesn't come clear until you choose the final chapter.
Well, it's interesting because the movie script's already done. I've already written it. I know how I'm just, now it's just in my head and I just have to get it out. It's interesting because I didn't connect the dots until you helped me just now. Like that really what's behind it is this, um, these beliefs, because I've been having the same ones around Sandy and Moo Moo and Harry. And yet in the last, and so I was doing this image change exercise and on the very similar words and that you were talking about. And then what happened was over the last 3 days, but I still haven't finished doing the new image change exercise with the new beliefs. And I've been really struggling over the last week with these beliefs. And then this weekend, for the first time, like Sandy allowed Harry, for the first time in like 2 or 3 months, Sandy allowed Harry to walk her. And it finally just clicked in. And Moo Moo's starting to get the message that she can't wake me up in the morning. And it just flipped. Like it, even though I haven't finished the image change exercise, things are flipping in my reality, but I hadn't connected the dots that it's the same thing as with this book. And I think part of it is also there's a part of me that's shocked that we're reading it because it seems out of sync with what the preaches and what he says he wants. And it's such an awful book that it makes me feel unsafe it makes me feel unsafe there. And but if I have this belief that I'm good and that it's, like, so I'm putting my attention on the I feel unsafe and not the attention on it's all going to be fine and the discussion's going to be fine.
And what
Yeah.
if you put your attention on what you have to bring because you were invited to participate? If your voice matters, what happens? As you allow that to be the reality. Oh, I'm going to verify that my voice really does matter, that I have positive impact, that my ideas are adding something new.
The book is so polarizing. I guess I felt like I'm kind of grounded more, but initially I felt set up. I'm like, how the hell do I talk about the book is so awful and polarizing and fear-based. What am I, like it's hard for me as a non-Jew to go in and say, you know, you guys are terrorizing yourselves with fear with this book. Um, because in the book, the author's not seeing a positive future. He's seen a future where the Jews are so unsafe, they have to do whatever they can to protect themselves. And it's hard to be the outsider and say, no, you're not as unsafe as this person is trying to wind you up to feel. But I kind of and the only thing I can think is like maybe instead of making statements, I can just talk about my experience with getting over my fear and asking questions. I don't know.
Yes. And how much does this viewpoint, this state of being that's being expressed, help you define the character in your movie, the backdrop of that person, if at all?
I haven't actually, it's a good point because I think I should bring it in more, but I haven't. I haven't Sarah, the main Jewish character, I haven't really imbued the Jewish kids with that sense of being unsafe in the world. They're teenagers, so I'm not sure how unsafe they feel. Um, they but I've noticed like with Harry's nieces, they're all a bit hysterical hypochondriacs and to one degree or another. And um, I see it a lot in the Jewish community in the greater there is this sense like we're physically unsafe. Our health is unsafe, even when we're here in the United States where it's safe. They feel they don't, and I haven't put that in the movie. I haven't put that in the Jewish characters in the movie. It's missing. Yeah. Mm. So maybe I need to go back and do it. Like what I've been focused on more in the movie is like, and it was Jean Francois that pointed this out for me. He's like the Jewish community, like kind of what their superpower is they have this sense of love for one another and a sense of support for one another. And so they when one of them needs something or needs support, or it's this very loving, nurturing community. And when they created the state of Israel, they didn't extend that to the Palestinians. And but it's their gift. And if they just embraced others that were outside the community, it would all work. And I love that idea. Like when I see Harry's family and friends that are Jewish, it's true. They're so supportive and loving to one another. And so I've been focusing on putting that in the movie, like their strength and their superpower, but not their fear.
Beautiful.
But maybe that's not balanced then.
Well,
Maybe I need.
well, to step back and say, okay, I've created a reality where I've been invited to read a book, and the book is having impact on me. For what purposes am I creating a reality where this book has this kind of impact? What can be created from it? What's important about the impact it's having? Why is it coming into my attention?
It scares me
What's
to
in
be
it for
so
me?
it scares me to be visible. I feel very insecure about speaking up in the group now because it's like I said, it's so polarizing that it's like I just assumed the rabbi would pick up because he's normally so like he and the other chief rabbi are like, the way the Israelis are treating the Palestinians is wrong. I thought there'd be a more balanced book instead of a book where the author is trying to generate hysteria amongst the Jewish community and make them feel more unsafe. And it makes me feel unsafe being visible and calling them out on this rubbish.
All right. And so now you know the impact it's had on you. Now step back one step further. Okay, I've created a scenario where I get to feel these feelings and I get to understand that these beliefs are at work in me. What do I want instead? What's important about having those emotions? What's important about having that recognition? But then also, is this who I want to be? Someone who's at the effect of other people's culture or opinions or group dynamic, or see, if it were one individual that you're talking to, does the same fear exist?
No.
Is it only because it's a group?
And it's a group of mostly strangers. I don't know who's in this group. I know Harry and I know the rabbi, and I probably won't know anybody else in the group. So, and some crackpot or crackpots convinced the rabbi to read this book. And yeah. Um, yeah, it's had me really wound up for like 2 weeks.
So as you notice, okay, if you were to just focus on the rabbi and Harry, are you safe with them to express what you think?
Yes.
And so why doesn't that knowing extend to the rest of the group? Why aren't you extending your graciousness to the rest of the group to honor them as probably they're going to be interesting and open and loving? See, it's an important thing to consider that, oh, I don't really expect my world to be that friendly if I don't know them. Where does that come from? What is that script? Where did that come from? What's the origin of the feeling unsafe in the world? That's the discussion that you want to be having with yourself. Oh, I still believe that I believe I'm unsafe. That's my belief. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I get to choose whether to keep that belief or put it down and replace it with something that's more expansive. Does that make sense? Is that
Yeah,
hitting home in any way?
completely. And the other thing is, whether it's Harry or the rabbi or Scott, I found that the none of them are interested in this idea of the world. They're all completely convinced the world is unsafe for Jews. So it's interesting. I'm feeling unsafe, and then there's nothing you can say to convince them that the world is safe for Jews, particularly now, and they feel like it's that sense of being unsafe for them is growing exponentially every day. And so they're just not interested in hearing that maybe things could be safe for them.
And yet you're being the same, I'm unsafe.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm seeing that now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So now you know, now you can change it. And then it will reflect in your world. So as you end the feeling unsafe within yourself and restore it with new definitions, a new sense of safety, knowing, well, what is true safety? Well, it's within the construct of whatever I believe. If I believe I'm safe, then I create that reality more and more and more. So as you really let that in, oh, okay, this is coming up not for no reason, but because I'm reaching for a reality where I am totally safe to be myself. The belief that I'm unsafe with strangers is getting in the way because I don't really know that they're the illusion. When I really let them be the illusion and I get to intend, what do I want to feel when I'm in that book group, for instance? Who do I want to be and what do I get to feel? What do I choose to feel? Choose that in advance of being there. Well, I could choose to be defensive and justify that I'm unsafe and they're all just really off base and thinking things that make the world that further unsafety in the world, and I can blame them for feeling unsafe, and I can just verify that I really am a victim and that I don't really create my own reality and I really don't have anything to do with this at all. And you see how it goes down that rabbit hole of
yeah,
being a victim and furthering the lesser self's perspective that, yeah, there is no such thing as safety. And we really are all alone and we really don't fit in. And it's all a matrix of the lesser self. So as you set that down and you realize, no, wait a minute, I get to choose how I feel and what I experience. I get to choose what perceptions I'm going to activate. And am I going to scan the horizon for feeling unsafe and verifying I'm unsafe? Or am I going to scan the horizon for being free to be me, to feel joy, to be loving, to know that my light and my love matter, that my presence dictates my experience. Now, notice we're not saying that you're going to feel 100% safe because then your attention goes back to I'm not safe. But when you look to what does you the more want out of life, you the more isn't looking for a guarantee, looking for experiences to explore, becoming more, growing, expanding, being free. to expand and explore and grow and be more. And there's a dynamism in that doesn't exist in the lesser self who's wanting to guarantee that you're safe. That need for safety comes from the child. The need for belonging comes from the adolescent. In a group dynamic, both of those issues are up. So as you heal the child, you heal the adolescent, then you go interact with the group with the intentionality of the spiritual adult to explore self-expression, to explore community, to explore being loving. It's a different experience, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a lot more fun, for one. And you're going to have impact. Question is, do you want to have positive impact? Or do you just want to verify that you're unsafe? It's really, in a sense, those two camps, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a choice that has to be made moment by moment. Which one am I being? Am I going to be my lesser self who just needs a guarantee? Or am I willing to step into me the more who's all about exploration and impact? Does that help?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I really like for whatever this has turned into a very big deal. I'm spending a lot of energy on this.
Yeah.
It's
And that's why we're
somehow
spending
it's
time with you on it, because to get to seeing, oh, I could create this differently required you knowing what attention and intention and emotion you were putting into it.
yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. We love you so.
Thank you, Tara.
Yes, dear one. All right. And we believe Henry is next.
Yes, Henry.
Hello, Tara. Great to be with you again.
Yes, dear one.
Yes, I think what Helen was saying was relevant, very relevant. But I've had an odd week where I've just kind of gone off, and one thing's happened. My health insurance. My doctors have decided not to go along with my health insurance. The health insurance company after the new year. So I've got to deal with that, and and then I seem to have bed bugs, which uh, I think I first noticed. I think it was about 3 weeks ago, and then it came up again 2 weeks ago by a bed bug being found in a tray where I at the senior group where I put my wallet to be checked as I was coming through, and that's causing me a great deal of grief. It just seemed all that kind of crystallized and other things on the 31st. So I did get to a point where I was thinking, wait a minute, I'm just thinking that this is all going to be a really dark day. So I did manage to kind of stop it later in the day, but these things happening. And um, just there just seem to be so many things now. And and so I'm looking for that sense of direction. And I see exactly how that's going to make a difference. And I just I just can't quite see the sense of direction. I can't see really where I can put a lot of push behind it. I get to a point where I feel right. If I'm just dealing with things magically, which I love doing, but resist a lot. Um, that's a sense of direction. Just seeing things do all that. And that's my sense of direction. And and then that disappears. But I wonder if you have a sense of. I keep on thinking it's it's getting more obvious, more and more obvious, um, so that I can really deal with it and move in a different direction. But then also there's a great kind of sense of despair as well.
And so what would you lose if you change? What would be the downside of changing, of becoming more, of choosing a new direction? What would be the downside? What would you have to give up?
Yes, I have been thinking that. Um, it, well, again, it's back to safety, isn't it? I mean, I know it's the way things are going. It's really not safe at all, and yet it just feels difficult to.
So just in that response,
Right.
it's not safe at all. Who's speaking?
Yes, well, my lesser.
Yeah, but specifically your child.
Is
So
it? Yeah.
so the
Child will.
most important activity is to secure safety for your child,
Right.
whatever that means. Now, when you check in on your child, if your child is free and playful and doing great, then that should handle that unsettledness around, well, I don't know how safe I am to make changes. But because when you really check in, and if your child is okay, is with your higher self, is with new parents, is in a new scenario, whatever it is that you and your child are creating for him,
Hmm.
not for you, for him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When he's got it, that calms that fear of being unsafe. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have excitement or worries or challenges or whatever, but you're much more able to deal with them and you're much more available to choosing something new once the child's safety has been met.
Hmm.
So as you okay, child's fine, adolescent's fine. Okay, now there's just me. Who am I? Who am I really? Who's Henry? The consciousness that you are, and what's possible for you to create. Now, it may begin with, well, I can't really think too far out. I just don't have any ideas. So you might begin with, what do I want today to be about? Which appears you're good at that because you're creating magic every day. Well, I'm just creating things magically. Wonderful. And the question becomes, why aren't you valuing that? What what does it imply that you are not, that you should be? What's the judgment? What's the unsaid judgment? If you were to know, just make it up.
Yeah. Well, just that I'm not magical. I can't rely on it. Uh, that
And yet you're using it all the time, creating magic every day. in some way. So
Yes.
it's unreliable means I'm looking for a guarantee.
Right. But there is other difficult things happening. But then it's about working with that magically, isn't it? I guess. I mean, things like the health insurance.
But if you don't value magic,
Yeah.
are you going to use your magic, or are you going to wait till the 11th hour and pick it up then? You see, valuing the magical ability and then knowing how to activate your magic takes skill, takes mastery, takes will and love,
Right.
and a willingness for it to work. Yeah, but I can't count on it. I'm not very consistent. It doesn't work all the time. And so, but as you understand, I really just want the guarantee. And I'm only going to use it when I think it'll help me get that guarantee. Then you're not really truly valuing the magic that you bring. You're not really understanding that to activate magic and to have it work and to create reality magically in accordance with your will, in compliance with your will and love, with harm to none, with elegance and ease, takes an enormous amount of focus.
Right.
And yet for you, it's quite easy. Well, I just get into that state of being and I just allow and I just imagine what it could be and voila, there we have it. And that is beautiful. And that is exceptional. And that is why you are here. And as you really let that in, yeah, it's in the joy, it's in the freedom, it's in applying the magic to any situation. This reminder is for all of you, where you think, oh, well, I really should just get things done. Well, where's the magic? Where's the joy? Where's the fun? Well, no. I just have to get things done. Then I'll go do magic. Then I'll go have fun. Then I'll feel joy. No, it doesn't work that way. As you understand, you begin with the joy. You begin with the fun. You begin with activating your magic. Being willing, feeling love. Then you look at what there is to do and apply it. Changes the way you live your life. And when you're too much in the consensus, you forget that. When you start believing the consensus and the way you see things being done, you begin to think, well, that doesn't look like a lot of fun. That's just by rote. There's no creativity in living life. As you let in, it really does matter to choose joy, to choose love, to be willing to create magically. It really does matter to who you are. You are a map maker magician. You aren't called just a map maker or just a magician. You're both and more. But at a minimum, you are here to make maps. You are here to create reality magically. And it opens you up to, oh, well, if I'm magical, what do I want to create next? What would be fun? What would bring joy? What would have positive impact? To the outside world, it might look frivolous, but to you, the magician, it's important. It's relevant. It's the only way to be. or you begin to diminish yourself. You begin to fade away. You begin to wonder why bother? What's the point? But when you get into that magical resonance, suddenly you open up. And it's as though a different you is creating reality, because it is a different you. It's you the more. The one that just needs to get things done and feels burdened and doesn't see the point is the lesser self. And so we want you to really let in, okay, if magic doesn't feel safe, then you're dealing with your child, first of all. If magic doesn't fit in with the environment you're in, then your belonging is an issue. Work with your adolescent. If you're just feeling a lack of imagination, then begin to feel joy. Feel love. Feel gratitude. Consciously generate positive emotion, and then from there, activate your magic. You have a lot of practice. You have a lot of skill.
What did you say,
Yeah, but
generate?
I'll just be pretending. Yeah, it begins with pretending. It begins with imagination. And what were you saying?
No, you just said something there which I didn't quite hear, but
It's on
after
the recording. You're fine.
yes, after gratitude, yeah. But yeah,
All right. We love you so. We look forward to hearing what you create next.
yes.
We
Do
do
you
have
mind
a
me?
few more on the list, so we're going to move on, Henry. But know that you have what you need, and we've been working between the words.
Thank you very much.
Yes, dear. We love you so. All right. And is Melissa next?
Yes.
Hi, Tara. How are you?
Yes, dear one. We are well, as always.
Yes.
Tell us, where do we begin?
Yes, so last time we spoke, I thought I was on my way back to Florida. We put our 30-day notice in, well, for someone to take over our apartment, and they pulled their application. And it was, I think, 2 days after I spoke with you, and then they pulled the application. So you have the choice of paying like $4,500 to break the lease, which I'm not going to do, or waiting for someone to take over the lease. And then what came up out of that is a property management company wants us to start doing their floors here in Idaho, and they have multiple apartments. And then the 30-acre project I was going back for, the people that are down there are willing to take over and run with what needs to be done. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And so I find myself, I feel I have such peace. Like I feel like everything's happening the way it's supposed to, and I'm in the in between. And what I was getting from when you were sharing with Helen is I think I'm always like wanting to know the answer. I haven't allowed myself to explore and just play and say, well, what do I like? What would I like to do? Like, I've got to know. And I just want to make sure that I'm on the right track, because I'm like, this is very uncomfortable, because I'm such a like wants to do everything, take control. And I'm like, well, no, let myself receive. And I'm like, everything's going to be okay. The deal's going to close. And I'm working on other things. And I still feel torn because I have a lot of relationships in Florida, but a part of me feels like maybe it's just not the right time yet. And I have some exploring to do still.
Wonderful. Yeah. So more freedom to be.
Yeah, but that feels like bad and wrong to me. Like I have to know, I have to be on a track. I've got to have a goal, like I have to have, and that, like,
So
just,
we'll
I'm a
just
doer.
clarify.
Yeah.
So making a choice is choosing a direction. Making
Mm-hmm.
decisions is setting goals. So as you always make decisions in the context of a choice you're making. So look to see what's the future that I'm choosing. And what is my optimal future self? Who is she being in that future? That's most optimal. Therefore, by definition, most positive. So who am I being? What am I enjoying? What is my life like? And what is my next future beyond that looking like? What sort of choices is she dealing with? So as you expand out much further than a goal would be. A goal would be 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Go beyond that into what's the quality of my life? Who do I get to be? No matter where I'm located, who am I being consistently, that I know who I am, that I'm becoming more, that I'm exploring, growing, that I'm having impact, for instance. As you just let that be the choice, that direction that you're going in, the choice to be that optimal future self, then it defines the other smaller choices you're making, and all the goals that you set. It creates a context.
Mm-hmm.
So the you in the optimal future, you don't have to know where you are so much as what matters to you. How are you spending your time? Who do you get to be? Are you expressing yourself? Are you having impact? Are you being loving? Are you feeling joy? Are you creating things magically? So as
I
you answer those things for yourself, it's a different you than the you that needs to know what's happening next. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, as you said that, I feel I'm becoming stronger out here, and I am expressing myself more, and I feel more free. I see that I'm traveling the world, connecting with people. I mean, I love people. I just love working with people, talking to people, having fun, and I felt like I was in this rut, and I think I just forgot what was important. I became so much about the doing and accomplishing that I wasn't enjoying the journey.
Yes. Well, and there is a lot to do and there is a lot to accomplish,
Yes.
but you get to choose each and every day who you're being. You get to choose, am I going to feel stress and strain, or am I going to approach it with openness and love? Am I going to love myself enough to center myself
Hmm.
and be present and be willing to receive all the love that there is to give, that is there for me? So you have no problem giving, giving, giving. Your
Yeah.
challenge is going to be to hold still long enough to receive something.
Yeah. And then we got that job opportunity like after the person pulled the application. And I
Yes,
was like, well, wait a second, maybe we should do this because this could turn into something pretty lucrative. And
yes,
it would be good for my husband, which gives me the opportunity to focus on real estate and development because that's my passion. And for him to learn to manage teams and our first job with him is in December, so we'll see. And I'm okay with that. I'm like I don't want to I guess control the outcome. I want to experience it and see if it works for us, and if not, then we choose something else.
exactly.
Okay, that's okay. I don't know why. I guess this is not normal for me, so I just have to get used to this new
Wonderful.
identity.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you don't have input. It doesn't mean that you're not required to choose what you want. You are always to apply choice, to desire, imagine, expect something new, and then choose. Yeah, that sounds great. That feels right. Yeah, that's what I want more of. But not so much needing to don't hurry to the end. As you say, no, I just have to get there. I got to get it done, get it done, get it done. What do you get to feel when you get it done? Because you can feel that now. So as you celebrate
Yeah.
now for what will be in the future, that energy of celebration will lift you up and you will be more open to receiving the beauty, the bounty, the abundance that is in your here and now as well as where you are heading. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes. Hmm.
Beautiful. You're
Thank you
right
so
on track.
much.
Wonderful. We love you so.
I love you too.
All right. And Jessica.
Jessica, you there?
She said she may
Yeah,
have.
I
Oh,
had
there
to
she is.
find
All
my,
right. Wonderful.
I'm here. I had to find my
Yes, dear
unmute
one.
button. Um,
Where do we begin?
I am back in Texas and I always fall into being very unhappy here, and it's not lost on me that I get triggered by old traumas that I think I've done tremendous amount of work on. And I don't know exactly what my question is, except for I just would like help with how to figure out how to better deal with keeping myself centered and grounded. I come back here, I came back to work on my storage to try to have some completion, and I realize I just can't handle coming back over and over. I do want to be complete, but I get bogged down with feeling overwhelmed, feeling depressed. Um, I go in and I do work with my inner child and my inner teenager, and yet we have a piece of land here to sell, and it's in terrible condition because my sister didn't keep, when she was supposed to be in charge of it, didn't keep, um, take care of it. And so I always get triggered. I'm angry about that. It just keeps flip flopping, cycling round and round. And the property's not having anyone be interested in it. It's not lost on me that I'm sure that me being angry kind of keeps it stuck as much as other things. So I just feel like it's kind of a cluster of things not working. So help me with what to figure out here.
So with the land, it's not so much so the anger that is keeping it from selling or having attention on it, but the unwillingness to sell it makes perfect sense. That there's a part of you, not all of you, but there's a part of you that knows the land is sacred.
Hmm.
That the beauty of it, the peace that it is. There's a part of you that says, if I give up the land,
Hmm.
I give up my sense of home, of place,
Yes.
of safety, of peace
Mm-hmm.
and connection and all. But you know that you the more knows that's not true. That lives within you no matter where you go. But there is a connection to the land. And so perhaps to do some sort of gratitude ceremony where you honor the land and you invite the essence of the land to live in your heart, to live in you, so that you carry it with you wherever you go.
Hmm.
And then the land is free to change hands, so to speak, to change keepers, because that is what you are.
Mm. Yes, that sounds totally right on. And there's these stories that go with the land. Hurricanes hit, uh, buildings got damaged that didn't get repaired. The county came in and rescheduled the land for the floodplain. So it makes it it just feels like one hit after another. And I heard everything you said, and I agree with you. And I still keep also flip-flopping with all these other pieces. Like, okay, I'll take care of my emotions over here and I'll take care of my child, my adolescent over here. But then there's this big story about the being victims to the county changing the zoning, and now nobody wants it because of that. It makes it more difficult to sell it. And I know enough. It's like, okay, Jessica, these are your beliefs, how to change them. And I'm talk to me about that piece also.
Yes. Yeah, so letting it be an illusion and not giving it too much
Yeah.
weight is the challenge because
Yeah.
it is, as you say, well, the longer it takes, the longer it feels, the weight gets heavier and heavier, saying the longer it takes to sell, the less you believe it will sell. So
Right.
we'll just give you a clue that you do need to choose your next step to be able to release it. So as you choose your next step for yourself, that then that's the future then, that generates the energy and the abundance that's required for that next step from where you are now.
The next step in my own personal life, is this what you're
Yes,
talking about?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And maybe that's a
Yes, I feel
place.
very stuck around all of these pieces.
Yes. And yet you're being challenged to choose.
Hmm.
So the beginning part is the desiring, the imagining, and the expecting. So you don't have to choose at that point, but you do have to do the work of imagining yourself in many different scenarios and begin the sifting and sorting process. Which one has the energy that I want? Which one has the resonance? Which one brings me joy? Which one brings me happiness?
What does one do? What do I do when I ask myself those questions and I feel like I'd run up against a wall with being stuck and not getting clear answers?
Well, there's the you that's now that is stuck and doesn't have the answers. That's a resonance.
Hmm.
So you have to
Yes.
suspend belief and leap over that into a different resonance by choice. So
Right.
just as we told Melissa, what's the optimal future you experiencing? You have to ignore what's now
Hmm.
and just see yourself being all that you can be, have all the happiness, all the joy, all the fulfillment, all the creativity, and for you, a sense of home is
Hmm.
very important. So include that in. Now, you don't know where it is yet. You don't know what place it will be necessarily. You've been traveling, so you may have solidified more and more what that looks like, what that feels like, and where that might be for you. As you just let your optimal future self have the sense of home already,
Mm.
and then just go explore with her.
Hmm.
So, how do you spend your days? What do you feel? How do you know that you create your own reality? How did you make peace with the past?
Mm.
And let her help you, the you that's already done it.
Hmm.
And so, yes, it requires
Mm.
the you that's right now to be less relevant. And that is uncomfortable
Hmm.
because there's a lot invested in the way things are.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so stepping into the optimal future self begins that process of really creating a new image.
Hmm.
All the good that you are goes into the future also. But the things that have been keeping you stuck, they don't need to stay there.
Hmm.
You don't have to take those with you. You can feel gratitude. You can be at peace. You can feel at home.
Mm.
But if you need to know how you get there, then you know you're not doing it correctly. Because
Yes,
that's
I am
the you
very
now
aware of
needs
that.
to know, wants the guarantee and wants to know how I get there. And I'm not going to budge until I know how. But
Hmm
then you're limiting yourself to your current beliefs. That creates a dynamic where you're not changing out your raw materials with new energy. When you need to know how you get there and you need to be able to see it clearly and you need that guaranteed next step, well, anything that's in your current resources is doable, is achievable, is easy to see, but it doesn't represent change. And it
hmm
comes limited with the same limitations you're struggling with. And so you do have to go gather the new energy. And one of the easy ways is to step into an optimal future you who has it already, who's already has access to the new energy. Or you could go immerse
I
yourself in the
intellectually
beautiful on
under
you.
I intellectually understand the stepping into the optimal future. I don't ever feel it. I don't think I've ever felt that in a meditation.
All right. Well, let's just measure on a scale of 1 to 10 how in touch with your emotions are you right now? Do you,
Mm.
do you rate yourself as a thinker or as a feeler?
uh,
We would
Part of me
suggest
wants
you're
to say
deeply emotional.
yes, but I try to overshadow it with the thinking.
Yes, but the emotions are quite clear. I trust what I feel.
hmm
I step into Texas and I feel sad.
hmm
I step into a different environment and I feel at peace.
hmm
So you see,
Yes.
you're very, we'll say sensual, tactile.
Mm-hmm.
Your body tells you how things are. So when you go into your optimal future self, it's not an intellectual exercise. It's a sensational exercise. Use your
Okay.
senses, embody, step into the you, feel the hands, feel the heart, sense the mind that's working, the creative energy that's there. It's all positive. If you're sensing negativity, no, it's negativity you brought with you because the optimal future is the most positive expression of you. Doesn't
Mm.
mean you're that all the time, but your experience is to gather the information of what's the most I can be and what new energy do I need to gather. And then your optimal future gifts you with that energy that you bring back to now. But because you're such a feeler, it's
Mm-hmm.
not feelings necessarily, it's kinesthetic, it's sensations.
Yes.
As you let that be a part of the imagery that you experience, then it can be more real for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be easier because that's in line with who you are. Doesn't mean that you're also very visual. You can see things, but you don't trust what you see until you sense it.
Mm-hmm.
And so let
Yes.
your body be the messenger, so to speak. Does that help?
But tremendously. Yes.
And
Good
it's
reminder.
it's it's a very important, the more that you work with being present, the more your body participates in the information exchange. Lets you know
Mm-hmm.
what's more real, lets you also know what's in the illusion. As you touch things, as you enter a space, the sensations you pick up, the information you pick up on, you're very empathic. And so as you let that information serve you also in creating the future, you're not going to get rid of that skill, you see. But in the
Mm-hmm.
optimal future, it may not be as heightened. You may learn that no, we kind of learn to manage what's us and what's them, and to trust that we are creating, we are having impact, and so we're not destabilized by information. So
Mm-hmm.
consider that the you you're stepping into has harnessed the power that you have, the empathy. and is gifting you with a new sense of self. That could also be there. Something to consider.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, I'll work with this.
Yes, and as far as the storage, it's very difficult to know what to get rid of when you haven't chosen your next step. And we understand
Exactly.
the challenge that is, well, the chicken or the egg.
Yes, and then I end up walking around in circles.
Yes. So when you're standing in front of the storage space and you can't choose, that means take a break and go do some dreaming about what you want next.
Mm-hmm. I want a place to call home, but I don't know where that is.
Yes. But as you know what it feels like to feel at home, then when you look at your things in storage, which of these things feel like home?
Mm-hmm.
And you might
Yeah,
start with a big pile. Well, everything
right.
feels like home. I don't want to get rid of anything. And that's okay. But then as you define, okay, I need to be more specific about what
Mm-hmm.
feeling at home feels like. And then I'm going to go look again. Because some of the process is picking something up and revisiting the memories.
Yes.
And that is a process.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you can't skip it. If you do skip it, then you'll still go through it, but you'll just do it without the benefit of holding the item.
Right, right.
So you
Yes.
have the opportunity to make it easier to tap into the memories because you have the physical object that is really resonance in form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so as you treat the object as resonance in form, it may also be easier to choose what you want to take with you into the future.
Mm. Right. Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
We love you.
Thank you.
Yes, dear one.
Thank you.
All right, and Warren, we believe you are next.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And um, particularly to John and Katrina Tara, just so grateful that they're able to pull through and continue with these Monday sessions through some times that are, I'm sure, challenging. So I will try to be brief and so they can get back to their packing.
So
Okay,
what you
John?
don't see in the video is the disarray around them. They
Yeah,
have
right.
deconstructed his father's apartment.
There you
And so
go.
there's stuff everywhere. Much of it is packed up, but even so, the more you pack, the more that's left to pack.
Right. And I'd
But
also
they
like
are
to
making
acknowledge,
progress.
yeah, right. And also thanks to the other speakers today, courage there and your inspiration, Tara. You just hit the nail on the head every time, bullseye target in terms of deep understanding and advice and wisdom. So my question hopefully can be answered fairly quickly, but that bright sun in back of you reminds me of some experiences I've been having, and as you know, dreams. But in the news, we're hearing that there's a lot going on energetically, physically with the sun right now. A lot, it's being very excited, and it's emitting a lot of, they're anticipating geostorms from it, which means probably more earthquakes and volcano actions, but also it affects people. And my question is, I feel like, and by the way, I am moving to have more thinking from my heart than my head. I'm consciously going in that direction. So I should say I'm feeling like, not I'm thinking that I can feel a difference in the sun when I'm outside and I'm aware of it and I'm thinking about it and I'm wondering, um, is there an impact? I can actually feel it. And it's really helped me a lot lately in the last few days. Um, Shift the energy in terms of feelings of indebtedness and the unspeakable pain and howling despair that I found in that indebtedness. And it seems like it can be lifted if I focus on the sunlight and the feelings I had at the time, literally the sun was hitting my face, I was blinded, and I was wearing glasses that had UV blue light protector, but I still literally was blinded by the light. And if I can get back to that feeling when I'm programming or as I wake up from a dream where I'm doing the processing and I don't want it to take an hour or two or three, but a minute, uh, remembering the sun seems to help. And I'm wondering, is that just uniquely to me because you seem to focus on us individually very well? And or is that something that others could that affects humans in total?
Well, anything solar is going to affect all of humanity and Earth consciousness as well. It is for your benefit. The solar flares, the solar activity, the heightened activity, it's an infusion of energy. And in most traditions, the sun is a masculine entity, rather the masculine energy, rather than whereas the moon is the feminine, often archetypally. And so in your tarot cards, the sun also has a significance. And so what is the significance to you, the archetype of the sun?
Well, it would be the dawning of a new day, effectively, but also information. I mean, like just a tsunami tidal wave of new ways to quote think. But what I'm wondering is I'm focusing more on trying not to think with my head, but my whole body, particularly the heart chakra, if that's significant as well. And so, but I do get the sense that it is a male energy. I mean, to me, it feels like a very male energy. And I just, I'm glad to acknowledge it here with you and everyone. So, any other advice for me?
Yeah, so as you see it as a microcosm of okay, I'm activating a new masculine energy within me in the context of the feminine.
Mm,
And so there's energy to be gathered, and there's also the light to be that I need to shine into my world. I am
right.
a being of light
Yeah.
and love. And so being of the light as you are, you're not here for no reason. You're here with
Mhm.
purpose. You're here to explore, absolutely. But in that exploration, having the impact, how do you know you have impact? Well, it's in the responses you get. It's in how others respond to you. Now, there are some who are masterful at eliciting responses from others. We're not talking about that. It's just you being you has impact. Your light precedes you as you enter a space, however grand that space is, whether it's a small room or a world, your light precedes you. And the love chooses what to manifest.
Ah,
And as you let that be so, oh, I actually know when I'm on track because my heart is participating.
yeah, heart. Is the heart like the feminine aspect? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not really separate. They're always together. It's a coin. It has both sides always.
Mhm.
But which one are you demonstrating or leaning on? And so in the world, it has been more common to lean on the masculine energy, almost to the extinction of the feminine,
Mhm.
extinguishing it to extinction. But you came in, all of you map makers and magicians came into this reality to right that wrong, so to speak. He said, okay, so how am I going to know what there is to do? Well, you knew immediately the moment you had consciousness and experienced the physical plane illusion that you are in, oh, there's an imbalance. I'm here to right the wrong, not in a righteous way, but to bring the energy that is required to allow the feminine to matter. And anything that has to do with mattering is a matter of soul. So bringing soul energy in and activating a new masculine energy, activating spirit in new ways, in communion with the feminine is what you are all here to do. And it's a different way of creating reality.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. And creating is so important to me.
Yes, being creative. See,
It's
without
my
soul, you're not ever really creating something new. The masculine energy can manifest remarkable things, but will eventually fade if it doesn't have an infusion of new energy. You can only do so much with your current raw materials before it's just not enough to create anything new. And so that gathering of new energy is, in essence, bringing more soul into the physical reality, bringing more light, more love. Does that help?
that helps a lot. Thank you.
Yes. And the solar flares are reminding you, oh, there's more light to be added. It's an important component of your reality. Can it be so intense that it burns you? It is a possibility, but do you want to create it that way? No, you don't.
No,
You want it
no
to be
way.
beneficial. And so as you put energy into, okay, I'm going to modulate. For what purpose is this new energy coming in? Higher self, help me modulate and harness that energy so that it is most positive. So will it create storms? It might, yes. The earth is participating. Earth consciousness is participating in utilizing that excess energy in a multitude of ways. Will there be earth movements? Probably. Will they be damaging? Not necessarily. You see, you get to choose your illusion. You get to dream the dream where these excess energies aren't for no reason, but could have a beneficial impact on
And
the
humans could
restructuring of reality.
and humans could use that energy to change.
Absolutely, to evolve your consciousness. Yes,
Beautiful.
wonderful. All right, we love you so.
Love you. Love you. Thank you.
Yes.
Anita may have a question. Anita, did you have a question? I saw you unmute earlier.
No, I don't.
All right, wonderful.
Okay, good.
I'm good, thank you.
Just
But
checking.
beautiful, everything today is amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Anita.
All right. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace after such a wonderful time together. So much depth. You hear it in the questions, the way they are being asked. There's a seeking for something new, new answers that haven't yet been considered. I'm at this point of a turning point. I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to reach for the next thing. So important to understand. Just being conscious of that point allows you to open to the new. And so, so wonderful for each of you who contributed to the questions this evening to participate with that vulnerability, to be willing to acknowledge this is where I'm at and I want something new. Beautiful. And so we go for now as we bring Katrina back. We go with love and peace until next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Tara. I stopped this.